And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's October, baby. Welcome to the imho.love show, in my humble opinion, .love. I'm Lou Angelwolf. This is Mike Murburg. Welcome to the show. We were off last week due to circumstantial situations. Things that came up, things that need to be lifted and moved and turned around and discarded and reshuffled, and that was me, man. Coming out here, giving up my cool little condo and headed out to Area 52. Which is even cooler yet, man. Even cooler yet. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning back in. We love you. We missed you. We were busy last week, but you know, sometimes just life just overflows into your podcast, radio cast schedule. So, but we do it with some regularity. We're here most Wednesday nights at 7:30. imho.love, in my humble opinion, .love, because love, it's the beginning, it's the end, and it's everything in the middle. imho.love is the website, the website, and we're on Facebook Live, BitChute, Podbean. There's a couple other ones too.
You on Rumble yet?
I don't think we're on Rumble yet. In fact, I think we may switch the show to Rumble to start with.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going to build our platform on Rumble and go from there.
Yeah, why give it away to Facebook?
Yeah, it's time to, you know, we gave at the company store for a very long time.
Yeah.
So they've got all of our words, and I'm sure some of them will come back to haunt us.
15 years later.
15 years
They're
later.
being tried for being, like, angry.
Yeah.
You showed anger.
You exhibited a furrowed brow.
Well, they did that to the 96-year-old secretary at, like, Auschwitz. She was 18, and they found her, and they charged her with accessory to mass murder because she was typing levels for Captain Klink.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was supposed to show up for trial, and she basically said, adios.
Yeah, take care.
But, I mean, 96, she was a secretary. Crimes against humanity? Yeah, we're all guilty. All right? But,
yeah.
I mean, holy crap. You know, talk about, like, look, I have time to turn the other cheek on that one. I'm sorry, you know? I mean, if you're not doing that at that point, you just got no hope.
Isn't that writ of habeas corpus or something?
No, because it's a crime against humanity, there's no statute of limitations. Yeah, writ of habeas corpus means, you know, bring me the guy out of jail because you got no legal right to hold on to him. So you get a writ of habeas. So, yeah.
Okay, well, that didn't happen.
No, and I hope wherever she is, probably in Argentina, at about 8,000 feet someplace, in a nice hotel, that she lives out the rest of her life in peace, just like we all should.
Sure, man, absolutely, and that's the story here, folks. IMHO, it's our humble opinion. We present it in due respect. We're all over the boards as far as whether, you know, if you're trying to grade it like liberal or conservative or whatever.
We're instead of politically incorrect, we're politically incomprehensible.
Yes, politically incomprehensible. That's just too long a name for a title.
Go figure. Yeah. We don't like the Democrats and we hated Bush. What the hell? You know, really?
Yeah, and but here's the thing: partisan politics is such an old thing. And if you can't see that this is an entire machine moving, there is no differentiation in the lower ranks. That's only for people to make it more identifiable.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
You ever see a clown car show at the circus?
Yes.
Well, this is like a 2 clown car show, and they keep on running around the cars and bumping into each other and going through each other's cars. And it makes absolutely no sense. Exactly. And when it's all over, everybody in the crowd is missing their wallet.
Dang it! And your car stereo. But, well, welcome, folks. It's October 6th, 2021. time has taken on some new strides here lately. We're right in the middle of a session of Mercury in retrograde. Certainly plenty of changes in my life, my flow, my frequencies are being altered as we speak. But you know, I was talking to my buddy Al, the comedian. Oh, by the way, we had the best shows this weekend. I really don't want to talk about where we played because I don't want the other comics to steal it.
Okay.
But man, oh man, just brand new room, full. People hadn't been out in a while.
Yeah.
And great sound, great lights, great crew. And we tickled them to a point of discomfort. Yeah, because we're trying to do like the politically correct thing. And I say, I killed them, crushed them. I'm just trying to make it more suitable. Because you don't really kill them or crush them. You can hurt them. You can exasperate their breath.
Yeah.
But that just doesn't sound as...
So you played the Villages, huh?
The Villages. Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
No, it didn't. But it was
just,
in that theme.
Really?
In that theme.
Okay, cool.
Great crowds, and it was so restorative to my soul to destroy a room like that anymore. Friday night show, I had an interaction with the crowd, improv a couple really funny things. I got a partial standing O in the middle of my set.
Wow, how did you orgasm in the middle of your set?
I was just steaming, arcing ropes of jism.
Or somebody in the crowd.
Yeah, it was just a little perfect storm, and like 10 people in the back got up after they saw how I handled the scenario, and just, oh my God, you know, and I made good dough too.
Cool.
Almost like the old days. But anyway, laughter is good for you folks, and that's what I do to maintain that attitude of I've got to go make people laugh. I've got to go do this, you know. And in fact, all this change that's happening for me right now is probably pointing me back to the road of some sort.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful time out there. And here I am at the ranch. It's just flop, flop, flop. Everything just kind of happening great. Well, welcome, folks. If you're in Central Florida with us, you may be enjoying some of this. Just a slight break in the weather. I think I felt a lukewarm breeze the other day.
There's a big difference between 89 to 92 and 86 to 89.
Oh, yes.
It is just, you know, you can breathe again.
Well, you know, it's when you're in the 90s and it's humid and the sun's broiling your forehead. Right. That's the hard part for me.
Yeah.
The forehead broiling.
Yeah, those who don't live down here, you don't know what sweat is. You talk. I was in Arizona. It was 104, but it was dry. I never saw my sweat. But you come to Florida where it's 89% humidity at 94 degrees, and you will sweat gallons you never knew you had.
So I sweat my last gallon of high school sweat. But anyway, the humidity's high now. It's almost like jungle-like here sometimes.
Yeah, that's what my father used to say. Like it's like Manila in the summer.
Manila.
It's like, man, that's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
You know, but he was right.
Yeah, he was. Absolutely. Well, folks, just remember, laughter is the best medicine. Unless you break a bone, then morphine is the best medicine.
Hey, I saw something last night. It was, I forgot the name of it. I was on Netflix, but it was about gene splicing, CRISPR.
Oh, yes.
And just amazing stuff. You know, they have... What they found is that when it comes to pain, there is a gene that you have that if it's missing, you have no pain. What happened is the guy that felt no pain was 19. He took a dare and he jumped off some building and he landed and he died. But they ended up taking tissue samples from the guy and found out that his DNA was completely different. So what they have, they have the possibility now is to splice that DNA. This is a reality. This is not maybe. They can splice that painless feeling DNA into any human being. Yeah. So the two choices they run are, okay, so we inject our special forces with it, and we have people that cannot feel pain. Oh. Yeah. Or we can actually take it and use it for a substitute for morphine for people that are dying of terminally ill for cancer, so we can take their pain away and make this whole transition a whole lot easier. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's like, but that's a reality.
That's a
now.
big dude, man.
That is a reality, and just think about what are you going to do to put the morphine manufacturers out of business?
Well, chances are they own the other thing.
They probably do. But, at some point in time.
Well, eventually everything is owned by the same 13 people.
Yeah.
Eventually everything. So
that's the way it's going.
Well, and that's why my friends argue online from everything from the vax to the just everything that goes with it, and the election fraud and the this and the that, and the media is perfect at keeping those people arguing and off center.
Right.
Okay.
That's why I quit Facebook.
Right. Are you off?
Yeah, the only thing I'm doing is I'm posting my Wahoo Ching so I can
Yes.
put it on pages.
Yeah.
Because I have people that want it.
Yes.
But other than that, I'm not engaging.
Yeah, it doesn't
anything.
make sense.
It's like
I had the idea that the little vision that I got with it is seeing as they have a lot of your information. They got your credit card numbers. They know exactly where you live, what you like, what you do, what you spend.
And every one of those funny little games you played on Facebook for the last 18 years, and they now have a psychological profile on you based on it.
Yes.
So they know your strengths, your weaknesses, and
sure.
That's why I always played them and made answers that I thought I didn't think like. So, I mean, like from the day one, it was like, no, this is a psych test. We're going to give you exactly different. So.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
Nice play.
Yeah. Once again,
You had that consciousness back then to goof up the beginning analysis.
Well, I know what's happening.
Yeah, it's true. It's been happening a long time.
Yeah, and
now it's just if you've even been half awake, it's got to be. There's just so many things just glaring in your face anymore. And I'm not going to get into any details because then that actually takes away from the vibration of the show we were trying to present. Is all that stuff, and you've heard me call it a cacophony of pain, a cacophony of lies and malcontent and materialism and
a lion's lair of lies.
A lion's lair of lies. Yes, a lion's lair of lies. Very good.
Yeah.
So we don't try to slug it out there, They're all actors, man. They're all actors. You gotta receive that and trust it because it's really true. And the thing that this show is about is we're just a couple old husky hippies, and we've both had a fair amount of life experience, and we do present this material from the goodness of our hearts. So we're not compensated for it, nor is it worth anything. But if you hear something that is resonant with you, we're trying to help people sort the whole thing out because it's incredibly confusing at any point that you enter. So the basis of it is a confusion, is a disrupting of fluent thought. That's why there's so many things flying at you all day long. All the commercials, all the words, all the images, all the, just all your clips, your 3-second clips, your Photoshop shops. All that stuff's coming at you to keep you off balance and to literally put you into a state of apathy to where you kind of absorb it like in this, robotic way. You don't really, you see it, but you don't respond to it. Well, it's really hard for me not to respond to it. So I don't watch the common avenues of broadcast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You sent me a good one this week. Was the egg?
The egg.
That was a wonderful video.
It's very, very good. I think it's on the imho.love page.
Is it?
Isn't it? I think it is. If it's not, I'll put it up there. And really, and that's the end game, you know. What Mike and I are trying to present to you is, yes, all that's confusing. Yes, you're hurt. Yes, your feelings are disrupted. Yes, your flow of love and good energy is a hiccup in it. That's because there's a lot of mad vibrations attacking the fluent vibrations. So, but what we're trying to tell you is, within yourself, you can live above all that. I don't always get the job done. Sometimes I'm down here in the gutter with everybody else. But when I get a moment to myself and I get a chance to reflect and a chance to do some meditation, and by the way, Joe Dispenza's guided meditations are fabulous. They're really, really quite good. Dr. Joe Dispenza, if you're looking for a good guided meditation, he's fantastic. Anyway, you can shake that stuff off. You can, cancel out those images in your mind, okay? But only for a while, because they're on the loop now, it's crazy. I drove over to this gig, and the car had satellite radio. So we listened, and Alan, the guy I was working with, Shabowski, he loved 50s, 60s, and 70s music. So we're just clicking all the way back and forth, 50s, 60s, 70s, like that, the whole time. And I got so many damn earbuds in my ear from listening to that songs I've heard thousands of times, but like in a succession, And he told me something too. I didn't know. It's a little inside thing. In the late 50s, there was Fats Domino, right?
Yeah. Sure. And Chubby Checker.
And Chubby Checker was, think about Fats Domino and Chubby Checker. It literally just dawned on me the other day that they had Fats Domino and Chubby Checker.
Yeah, Toots Mahjong didn't make it.
Toots Mahjong. Oh my God, that's hilarious. So yeah, I mean, it's right there in front of your face your whole life, and you go, oh, there it is. Chubby Checker, Fats Domino.
Right.
Okay. And Fats Domino was first.
Yeah.
And so they made Chubby Checker.
Right, yeah.
Come on, baby.
I know.
Let's do the twist.
It's sad that Sam Cooke died during that time.
Sam
that
Cooke.
Was just, he was the greatest of the great.
What a crooner, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Otis Redding. Those two guys were just
they were the best.
Dead before their time.
Yeah.
Especially Cook. But, Fats Domino was good, too. I mean, I like Putin's rendition of Blueberry Hill. I mean, it's, very it's interesting. But, hey, he could actually challenge both Trump and Biden to dueling pianos or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that beats frickin' nuclear war, doesn't it?
I think they ought to do wars like pro wrestling. Just get your baddest pro wrestler out there and just duke it out. Cage match, steel cage match.
Yeah.
But it won't end. It won't do that way.
No, well,
but,
not yet. They got to build frickin' rollerball first.
Yeah, I suppose. Does it really have to downgrade to that level first?
It does.
You think so?
Yeah. And here's the Taoist lesson of the day.
The rollerball level.
Yeah, and then they got Thunderdome.
If you've never watched Rollerball, one of James Caan's better movies.
Yes, yeah,
and it was what, 75?
It was early.
1975 it came out.
Yeah,
it's James Caan and Rollerball, and watch it, man. It's the reals. It's the reals. It's where we're heading.
Yeah, and then to make a long story short, the answer is it's all got to descend into chaos before it gets better, and we're descending into chaos. And the exegesis is that in the beginning, people could be trusted to do the right thing.
Yes.
They saw each other. They realized, like, if you had to make a hatchet, that was, you had to start with digging out the copper and then adding the tin to create the bronze.
Right.
And that was a big chore. So, not everybody had hatchets,
Right.
So I had to borrow your hatchet. You had to borrow mine. because we didn't have enough to go around.
Right.
Okay. But everybody brought the hatchet back. Okay.
Sure.
They took care of that. They understood that your hatchet is my hatchet is our hatchet, and that's the way it works.
It's the shared hatchet.
Right. So they trusted everybody, and natural law prevailed. I mean, people saw each other as, one, as I would see you as me, you would see me as you.
Yeah.
And that was governed by divine law or natural law. And eventually that started to deteriorate as the numbers of mankind increased. So you had moral law come around, which is a tribal concept. It's based on something other than divine law or natural law. And then
Tribal concept.
It's a tribal concept. And then after moral law, you had to come into written law because society had developed. Moral law had broken down. Man could no longer be trusted to carry out natural law because they'd become. We had come to know that.
Are we talking in the Western world here, or just
we're
in
talking
general?
in what we've seen in the Western world is prominent right now for us. But what happened in China was settled 5,000 years ago. So it's happened in China at least 3 times double millennia.
Okay.
So this is something, and Lao Tzu was writing 2,500 years ago.
Right.
So he's observing in his own times, and this is what he's teaching us. And what happens is then you have written law, and what happens is the more laws that you write, the less you can trust mankind. They're lost their way. They lost their divine law. They've lost their divine selves. And then at some point in time, the authorities that are in control create too many laws, and it becomes over cumbersome to the people, and the society and the system starts edging into chaos.
Yes.
Because there's no controlling it, and this is a death and birth cycle. I mean, it happens again and again, and then after the chaos, once the entire society and the system has descended into chaos, then it gets reborn again.
Yes.
So right now it's a civilization in decline. We're descending into chaos. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can do about it, really. I mean, except to act stoically, keep your chin up, and watch the world fall around you. But you need to keep your stoicism, your stoic attitude.
Sure.
Because if you don't, society will panic to such a degree that it makes the fall even worse than it is. Mm-hmm. So, but within the existence of the chaos is the kernel of the new seed that will emerge. So we are the new seed.
We are the new seed.
So this is what's going to eventually emerge. But in just like the little furry little warm-blooded marsupial that survived the dinosaurs and the asteroid hitting the planet, we're going to be the survivors of the chaos and everything else that goes on, because this is the next generation of reality.
Right.
This is the age of the universal being, the integral universal being.
The integral universal being. I love that phrase. It's funny. The decline of the Western civilization. Penelope Spheris many years ago did some rock and roll movies, and that was the underlying tone through them, like watching the Metal Years and all that stuff. Watching literally like a corrosive element happening in our society, but we were cheering it on. There's that little bit of darkness in all of us that we're like, yeah, this shit's coming apart, and there it goes. Sometimes you like to see the bad guy win, but the backbone of what Mike and I try to share is to give you a better attitude and energy about life and about these times. Yes, you can stomp around and say you're confused and say you don't understand and say you feel deceived, and yeah, we get it, man. Totally get it. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. There's little tidbits that can take away all that pain, all that panic, all that fear. Is your personal responsibility for yourself. Watch what you do. Analyze what you do. Sit back and go, I used to like to use that analogy of the man in the tree. say there's a guy that lives in a tree in your front yard and he watches you come and go. He sees what you do and he sees how you act. You don't interact with him. He just watches you. So you got that man in the tree thing happening, and when you can get that third person omniscient point of view about you, you can really do some great growing. You'll censor yourself. You'll make wiser decisions. You know the thing I find the most, Mike? Shutting up more. Like when I go to say something, I run that filter on it real quick. I go, hang on a minute. No, I'm not. That statement will not help this situation. So I put it away, and I don't say it verbally. And I have found 95% of the time when I do that, the fact that I didn't say something that was semi-abrasive or challenging, the rest of the conversation went a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, well, what you did was you tested the winds of woo-wee.
The winds of woo-wee.
Right. Right. You know, when in doubt, don't do anything.
Yep.
You did eventually you realize that first step is, no, I better not do anything. Second thing is, well, what should I do? And then the question, the answer is absolutely nothing.
Yes.
It'll all take care of itself. So
that's true. It does. I was talking to Alan. This is where this comes back around. And he had a very good week. He made money. He's got bookings. He's looking at, and that's what makes him happy, is performing and earning and that kind of thing. And he was going, oh, the last couple months were horrible and this and that and the other thing, but now everything's okay. Of course, he's been restored financially. Okay. But the reality of it is, how can everything not be perfect at all times? How can not everything happen the way it's supposed to happen? The people that are going to stand up and do something are going to stand up and do something. The people who are going to sit down and watch everything go on around them, they're going to sit down and watch everything go on around them. There's not a whole lot. I mean, you can persuade numbers of people. You can motivate groups of people. But the reality of it is, all within that dynamic, it's still going to happen the way it happens. And there's really not a whole lot you can do about it.
right.
Karma. Yeah, karma. A lot of people have a distorted definition of karma. They think it's like this tit for tat type of behavior, when it's really not.
Yeah, the tit for tat behavior is the law of energy return.
Yeah.
What you put out there comes back to you.
Right.
And then in karma is, you got no control over that. You can be in this lifetime and be affected by shit that you did in other lifetimes that have come through the barrier. And then you can be doing stuff in this lifetime that'll, be reflected in the following lifetime. And there's no good karma. And you know how karma occurs when you get to a situation and you don't know what to do and you do something when you shouldn't. You don't exercise woo-wee.
Okay.
So that is the creator of karma.
Okay.
All right? And you create friction and catastrophe where none happened. I mean, we should all be struggling, but trying to have a life that's like feng shui-ish. Everything flows. Don't create any impediments. Don't. The great line from Watts was, "Why make waves when the wind isn't blowing?"
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah, it was a great quote.
I love a great quote.
Good old Alan Watts.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah, he is. He's a smart guy, and
I would have loved to smoke the bowl with him.
Yeah,
on a dock somewhere.
Yeah, I would love to, introduce him to E.T.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. That's speaking of which, we had a great contact out
that was
here
my
last
next thing.
weekend. Yeah, cool.
The last Saturday night, I wasn't there. I had that show. But yeah, one of the larger groups ever. What, 42?
Yeah, 42, 43 people. There were a lot, and but we did the meditation, and like within 6 or 7 minutes, we had a real fast one come in overhead over the northwestern sky. It went southwards, and then it went. Bing!
Wow.
Yeah, not only did it turn that way, it went up. So it was.
Nice.
It was quite a bank shot, and it just was that quick. You know?
Like a slow walker? What
No, it
was
was a fast walker.
Fast walker. Okay.
It was at like at least 50,000 feet up, and there was one of our members is a radar guy, and I asked him, like, how fast would that be? Easily above Mach 25, maybe Mach 50. That's how fast it was.
Wow.
So.
I'm sorry I missed it. I was with you in spirit.
But half of the people missed it because it was behind them. So, but later on, we were getting plenty of reads on the infrared spectrum. Some nights I just think it's a slow night, but I put it up on the Facebook site and on the meetup site. The photographs. Ken got it on video. Got one of the orb, not that one, but he got another one on video, and there was an orb that nobody could see, but it showed up on the video camera and tape, and it like creeps into the view, and then it does a complete power up, and the power up created levels of energy and spheres that you could see in the video and on the snaps that I took of the video.
Wow!
And it's and it went down, but nobody could see the power up because it was in the infrared spectrum and it was so bright and obvious.
Oh man!
So, but
that's great.
But two people did see the orb though. So
beautiful.
Yeah, crazy stuff, but wonderful. I mean, wow! It just keeps on getting better and better.
Well, and for those of you who just started listening, thank you. Welcome aboard. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. This is a non-monetized show. Mike and I do this out of the goodness of our hearts and the caring attitude that we have towards our fellow humans, because we're trying to figure out this Rubik's Cube just like you. So, but like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want with it. Podbean, BitChute, imho.love is the home webpage. It's on Facebook Live for a while, all the time. So, it's good for you.
Oh, I got to be gone next week, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm up in New York State with family, so.
Okay.
But the following week, when we come back, we can talk about the Wahoo Ching and the Golden Pill and dual and single cultivation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you ever wanted to know what the G-spot was good for, this is it.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. You find out what the G-spot's for. Nice. Okay. And all these elements that Mike and I talk about is you shedding your guilt, your pain, letting stuff go that you should have let go long ago, carrying a whole bunch of stuff inside of you that there's nothing you can do to change it today. The only weight it has is in your mind. Let it go. Move freely. Move lighter. Let go of that stuff out of your mind, man. You can't change it. Take the lesson that it was, consider it learned, and think of it no more. Meditate it away. Let it go. There are people that can help you with that. They can help you let go. The hypnotherapists, there's so many beautiful ones, especially linked to this show. If you need that kind of guidance, we're happy to help you. But really, the end part of it all leads to you being an integral, universal being, which means you have received yourself as part of this oneness that is all things. You don't move independently from the oneness, and you move with love and passion and understanding and forgiveness, and you are the personification of a gentle, loving spirit. With your strength, with your understanding, with your wisdom, those are your highest aspirations. It's that, and these are like, they're called altitudes of development. Dr. Wilbur wrote this. And like many years ago, the old mindset of ascending mentally was they accepted pluralism, various gods, this kind of thing, rationality, and then science. So they let themselves become enlightened through these avenues. And then as those people found the flaws in that clearing system, they moved up to another tier, which included understanding the natural hierarchy of things and a multiple perspective, being able to look at it from more than just one spot. And as that tier progresses, you realize that this attitude of learning of yours, of mine, of Mike's, of us, collective, the CE5 group, everybody online, everybody watching, everybody loving, everybody caring, everybody sharing. This whole energy is alive and evolving. It's it's holistically cosmocentric. How about that? Isn't that a great set of words?
Pretty good.
It's holistically cosmocentric.
Makes me think about Topper. Cosmo.
Holistically cosmocentric. Okay, and those are your second tier advances in the altitudes of development. And the top one is your third tier on this particular chart. You realize your oneness, you exhibit your joy, you live with your wisdom, and you love in as close to an unconditional way as a human can. And this is generally the tier that is saved for saints and sages and high thinkers and Buddhas and
but in the Tao and in with the personification of the Buddha, the final step is service to others.
Yes,
that's how you perfect first your awareness, then your awareness of self, and then your awareness of others, and then your awareness becomes of others as self, and then that's an enlightenment in and of itself. However, it's like building an SS 396 until you turn on the key and engage the drivetrain and transmission. You get nowhere when it comes to being an integral universal being.
Right.
You can be like, before that, it's universal being. That's you've hit the awareness, the top of the awareness chart.
Sure.
But you got to engage the transmission to get to the next level, and that's what brings ET into the picture.
Yeah.
Because they are universal beings where they're aware of others as self.
Yes.
We are they, they are we. There's no difference in humans and no difference in ETs. It's all the same spiritual firmament. And then why are they so conscious and conscientious not to frighten us and not to do the things? I don't care what about the crap out there, but our experience with all these beings is nothing but enlightenment and light beings. And once they have all joined the club of integral universal beings, that's the end goal, to help each other out. That's why they're here.
That's Eagle Scout.
Well, yeah. Well, that's whatever is higher than Eagle, but that's one hell of a scout.
Condor Scout.
A Condor Scout, or a non-molested
Albatross Scout.
Albatross Scout. But that's what it's all about. We help each other out, and that's perfecting the Tao. And the universal beings, the integral universal beings of the universe, of the multiverse, is the same way. They get it. That's why they're here.
There's some wonderful perspectives on this. The Pleiadian mindset brings in that there's like 4.5 billion of us peaceful souls at various degrees of awakening. Some are just starting, some have been awake a long time, some are on their 20-second rotation, whatever it is. But there's also 3 billion some odd others that are not, and they're not going to be awakened. They are there as almost an adversarial existence.
Yeah, well, here's the movie The Egg comes in. Here's the mind blower: is that they are, because the space-time continuum is permeable. That's not a question. That's a mathematical reality. Okay,
Right.
and because we have foreknowledge, we have psychic intuition, for example. This is real. We know the future to some degree. We understand the past. We can go back to the past. They've shown us in mathematics we can do that, and the greatest physicists in the world have understood this, and they think that. So, so what happens is all those 3 billion people that are living all over the world, that was us in a past lifetime. We were in a future lifetime and coming back to the past to reincarnate, to do the same thing in the present. So you and I are the same spirit. We're the same soul.
Right.
I was you 4 generations ago, and I've come back in time to be you, and at the same time, I've come back in a different lifetime to be me, and we can all be here at the same time because I am you and you are me.
Amen.
And see other as self, and then you get it.
Right.
But anything short of that,
see other as self. That's got to be the culmination. I mean, that's got to be the last word in all religion or every sermon.
Well, yeah.
Every preaching session has to end in that.
Yeah, well, why do you even need religion to see other as self? And that's
You don't.
And that's where Lao Tzu went back to, that was divine law. That was natural law. That's what we all understood when we were on this
Right.
planet, when we first came out. And that's what we understood when we first come out of the womb.
Right. Oh, well, yeah. Well, I've been really thinking deeply on that spark of life when the little swimmer went and found your mom's egg. That moment, that spirit transfer, that, until then it's just tissue. Okay? But there's something absolutely incredible that happens at that moment.
Yeah, it's a spark. It's a Kubrick explosion of light that happens when the sperm enters the egg.
Stanley Kubrick?
No, copper. Copper, Cu2 chloride is in.
Sorry.
Like I was in copper. Listen,
That would just make it even weirder.
But what's funny though? You look at some people and you go, "Holy Christ! I can't believe that was the fastest swimmer." It's like, I wonder what the other ones were.
Oh yeah, really.
I mean,
yeah, that's an old stock joke in
really?
Comedy clubs.
Really?
Yeah, 60 million swimmers in a load, and you were the fastest swimmer.
The fastest
Boom.
swimmer. Well,
but actually, to go back 15 minutes ago, how can everything in the world not be perfect? How can those odd people not be perfect?
Yeah, exactly. It's all part of one big flower. And by the way, that's me coming back into the future.
I love that thing in the egg. If you look on my page, I shared it, and my Facebook page, Lou Angelwolf, and there was a segment of it that talked about you meeting yourself.
Right.
That you have the ability to meet yourself.
Well, we didn't know that. Derek met himself. He went back in time and met himself when he was a kid. Somebody visited him who was older, and he didn't know who it was, but it looked familiar. And then when he got to be 40, whatever, he went back in time and he visited himself, and that was he. So I mean, this stuff happens, and these people aren't crazy. I mean, this is an Air Force officer and a guy who flies airplanes, and and he's got bona fides just based on that kind of stuff alone.
No, Derek's he's an intense dude.
Yeah, I mean, but traveling in time, that's even more intense than flying an airplane. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, but I think we all do it. I think that's where you go when you dream.
Yeah.
Where do you go when you dream, man? It's like that's one of the astonishing things that I'm getting ready to turn 62 at the end of the month, and I realized that I've been up thinking every minute of that 62 years.
Yeah.
Even when they were just, it was just a Pong game. Boop, boop, boop. But I've been up thinking that long, because you don't stop thinking when you sleep. In fact, it even gets accelerated. That's why I wear my lucid dreaming medallion that our friend Beth Snyder gave us down there at the Om shop in Sarasota. The lucid dreaming, and you find out, and it could be a placebo, I don't know, but I think it works. So, and think of it as, it's got little circles, like little atomic circles around a circle. And to me, I know the creator of the universe doesn't need a logo.
Because he is the logo.
He is the logo. That's right.
Logo.
That's right. He's the logos. So, but just that constant movement of your mind, your spirit, your heart, and then when you start realizing that your gut and your mind and your heart and your spirit and all these things are one big thing generating within you, and then when you realize that there's people that come in your life and you are them and they are you, and you start acting and thinking in a collective way of kindness, love, mercy, gratitude, forgiveness, because that's what you need too. So why would you not give that when you know that that's an essential human need? So give it to those who are near you. Give it to those who you exchange this energy with. Give it to those who who came to love you on your frequency. So,
and on your infrequency.
And your infrequency, whatever you forget, even if you forget to do it. Even if you forget. But that's the thing about this awakened consciousness. I mean, it really does have its stages. There's parts of the day, man, where I am one with the energy rushing through a tree, and there's other times I can't believe I just spilled the whole iced tea in my car.
Yeah. Well, just imagine when Jesus, when he's carrying the cross, at some point in time he must have said, "Holy shit, this fucking really sucks."
Well, he did. He did. He did say, "Let this cup pass from me." He did.
That was more. That was more, literate than Jesus fucking sucks. How much far do I have to carry this damn thing?
Yeah, yeah.
And enough with the whips already.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing the best I can. I'm dying here.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and that's what makes the dynamic story. The big suffer. And he wasn't the only guy crucified.
And you don't get out. You don't get out of this without suffering. Buddha said it was.
Amen.
Life is
that
suffering.
pain reduction thing about with the gene splicing. I don't know if that's good, Mike.
Well, they what they do? They just took the gene samples of the guy who has like the best memory on the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy will take a deck of cards, 52, and you show him the deck of cards, and he'll tell you what order they're in.
Love that.
And they can actually take it. There's a gene that's for memory, and they can take his memory gene. They can splice it into somebody. They have enough of a gene pool to create whatever kind of human they want at this point, because the technology is there to do it. The only thing that isn't is the ethics. It prevents them from doing it. At least here in China, they've already done it. Yeah. Not the big gene pool.
They got so many people over there, they don't even notice people missing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and the guy that did it, he did it with twins, and the only, thing the Chinese government had to say was you couldn't have just done it with one.
Yeah, right. A little overkill. What time you got, Mike?
Yeah. We're running. We got about 10 minutes here.
10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the imho.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf. That's Mike Murburg. We're here most Wednesday nights, 7:30 p.m. On Facebook Live, and then we distribute it to other. Well, it goes on YouTube, BitChute, Podbean. There's a couple other ones. And our friend Nancy Dutetra,
she was here last week.
She was here last week,
yep.
And she has a book out called Psychic Intuition, and just a wonderful, wonderful lady and a brilliant mind. That's Nancy Dutetra, Dutertre, and the subtitle is Everything You Ever Wanted to Ask But Were Afraid to Know. That's pretty catchy.
It is.
Everything you ever wanted to ask but were afraid to know in your psychic intuition. So Nancy's joined our CE5 group, and we're very, very happy to have her along. And that's the thing. Mike and I talk about the CE5 Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, or the phrase I like a little bit better is HICE, which is Human Initiated Contact Experiences. And what that is we join collectively. We talk about this, the oneness of all things. And we join together in a meditation. We create a vortex of energy that we send forth from our circle of friends, our circle of love, our circle of energy. And we send it up by request into the cosmos, into the subtle realm. And it's like a little flare that comes up from Earth. And our extraterrestrial friends often notice us, and
come by, say hello.
Come by, blow the horn.
Yeah.
You know, throw a cosmic newspaper out the window.
Yeah. Well, what I should do is I'll post those photographs on the IMHO site.
Had some good shots last week.
Oh yeah, they're crazy good, and just incredible
and folks,
stuff.
You know, if you're standing in the doorway listening to this, you're gonna go, oh, listen to these two crackpots, but. And we appreciate that.
They laughed at Galileo.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, you also have to accept your own limitations on what you understand about dimensions and the basic physics. I'm no scholar, but I do lead with my spirit in the purest way I can, you know, cultivate it. And that's where this movement comes in. The group, we join in we try to purify the energy that we send up, and the purer it is, and you can't be afraid of any of this. This is all part of your reality. Is these multiple dimensions? Right now, you live mostly in the 3D. I think when you dream, sometimes you can skip a dimension or two.
Of course, yeah.
You know,
I mean, just tell me where the dream takes place, and it's not this dimension.
Right.
That's just,
sure.
Yeah, it's outside of time.
You know, I keep having a dream. My dad passed away 11 years ago, and I keep having a dream about him and my brother putting a fan belt on a Toyota Celica with no tools. My dad had these great big gripping hands, and he reached down and he put that lower part of that belt onto that crankshaft, pulled it up real tight, and then with his hand moved the alternator into a gap. Right. And then slipped it on, and my brother hit the key, and the belt popped right on.
Right.
So I've had that dream a couple of times, and it's very, very vivid. It happened right on Main Street in Dunedin. There's a little garage back there.
Oh.
It's happened. This is the second time I've had it. Had a strange dream last night. I was in a room full of Chinese takeout cartons.
Wow.
There were little ones, right? And then the medium-sized ones like you'd expect. And then there were gallon ones.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's a lot of Chinese.
That's food. A lot of mugu gai pan, baby.
Big fuyang, man. That's chop suey.
Ay.
I had a dream the other night too. It was weird. Last night.
What happened?
Yeah, it was weird. You know, you're in college, and there's always like one of your buddies always shows up because he doesn't have any pot, so he wants to smoke pot with you because he knows you got some.
Right.
You know.
I know that guy.
This is one of my buddies. You know, we played football together. You know, and then the dream, he comes in and he sits down. He's got this really great pot, and it's got really great buds and stuff with these enormous seeds and stuff. And I'm like going like, what? Wow. And he ends up like. We got stoned, and then he ends up giving me some seeds.
You got stoned in your dream?
Yeah, I got stoned in the
cool.
dream, and then he gives me these seeds, and it was so vivid. I can still see it in my mind's eye, where the seeds are like 4 times the 3 times their natural size, and the buds are around them. I was like going like, this has got to be a dream.
Like, you can plant the pot tree.
Yeah, and the giant is the giant at the top of the pot stalk. That could be deadly.
Yeah.
It's like this
Jack in the pot stalk. That's hilarious. That's funny.
But he ends up putting his pot back together again, and then I noticed that He's got, you know, that kind of green grass you got in the Easter time. They put the Easter eggs in and stuff.
Yeah.
He's got that mixed into this pot. And I'm going,
no.
You got to be kidding me, dude. You're not going to smoke that shit,
Plastic
are you?
shit?
Yeah.
No.
He's like scoops it on it. Because he always was like a slob, you know? So
That's extra
he
sloppy.
scraps it out into the bag anyway. It's like good luck, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, so I didn't check the bits this morning.
Another
but
fine product from Uranus.
It was like, wow, that was a message. I had like thought about this guy like 15 years, you know.
And there
like, yeah, and it was like wonder what he's doing.
bringing giant buds into your life.
Yeah,
wow.
Jack in the pot stock.
Jack in the pot stock. Tommy Rhodes used to do a funny bit. He goes, he was playing in England. He goes, I'm really happy to be visiting England, especially in this time period. I'm glad you guys got rid of your giant problem.
And I hear the Jabberwocks are extinct. So
The Jabberwocks, yes, indeed.
Just when you thought we were two illiterates.
Yes.
But, you know.
Yeah. Oh
well. Keep them thinking.
Tavu, today, Hazako.
Yeah. Well,
Kazoo,
yeah.
Kazay, Kate, Kata.
Yeah, and it was the same guy, Lewis
Charade.
Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland. So you got to know that he was like, you know.
Those guys are tripping balls, bro. Yeah.
You know, Jabberwocky. I mean,
Tadu.
it's kind of like the Chubby Checker and Fats Domino thing. You put it together, it's like Jabberwocky and Alice in Wonderland. Wow,
Hey.
who would have thought that?
The sequel.
Well, it's like Aldous Huxley and George Orwell.
Yes.
You know, and George Orwell wasn't his real name either.
Right.
But yeah, you know, Orwell was Huxley. I think it was Huxley's Latin teacher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, you know, and that's the other thing too, Mike, is we were talking the other morning, and synchronicity, and really, how deep is this fix? How far? I mean, is everything even though we peel back the layers of mass media, we go into look at all these rabbit holes and alternative information and trustworthy, do good, Dudley do right. Patriot people, happy people, God-fearing people that share all this knowledge. What if all that is stood up too? What if all that is a cardboard cutout as well? I mean, what layer do you? You know, this is where I'm down with the nihilist a little bit.
Well, that's why the integral universal being is so cool, because it frees you from all that. You're not tied into this.
Yeah.
So you become.
It ain't even in your game.
Yeah, and you become one of the, untethered, non-creative creators of the universe.
Yes.
And that's the game, man.
The non-creative creators of the universe.
Right. Yeah, there's some good stuff in the chapters that are coming up that I'm putting out.
I'm sure. It's always so enlightening. And Mike, I got to tell you, you know, studying with you these last several years, I mean, it really, when you can approach your day with this lovely level of confidence, and you're not bulletproof. I mean, you can definitely, you know, everybody's got an Achilles heel here and there, but the energy that when this stuff comes at you, your ability to handle it is just amazing.
Yeah, you're getting it. You definitely have graduated to the next level of Tao. I saw that happen today. You know, you get hit by a wave, and you know, you just ride it. And,
yeah, man. What are you gonna do? You know, everything has to be perfect, right?
Right.
It has to be.
How else is
The only person that would deem it imperfect is you, because it didn't follow through with the expectations that you had.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
That's why you got to be thankful for everything, the good stuff and the bad stuff. You know.
Amen. Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the imho.love show. I'm Lou. That's Mike. We're on Facebook Live every Wednesday night. We'll be here next week. No, not next week, but the week after. And our engineer Kathy McGuire loads to several other sites, and you can link them all and all that good stuff. Hey, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you like with this. Send it to a friend. Send somebody that needs a little nudge, you know. So thank you. Say goodnight, Mike.
Good night, Mike.
Hey, I love it when you're literal.
And
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Who's left here? Hi,
Littoral
Amy.
as well.
There's Sue. Hi, and Mark. Love you too, buddy. There's Sue Doloff. She's one of the hypnotherapists I was talking about. She's awesome. And Daniel and John, thank you, fellas. And all right. And Kat Carol, love you, baby. All right. Good night, yo.